Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Northern College of the Arts and Technology Information Evening. I want to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land, the people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and any First Nation people here tonight. Thank you for joining us for our online information evening. I hope by the end of tonight, you will have a good insight into the college, its programs, facilities, and its culture. At the end, there will be an opportunity for questions and answer sessions, and we will also provide links to music, visual arts, and technology leaders. So if you have any further questions, they can answer them for you. So let's start with a short overview of the college.
Northern College of Arts and Technology is kind of two schools in one. We have the arts area and then we have the technology subjects.
We have incredibly strong VCE programs. Students can follow their passions in the arts or dance or music or technologies, but we also offer all the traditional VCE subjects like psychology and business management, maths methods. And the beauty here is that you can come and mix and match from the technologies, from the arts, and do unique courses you can't do anywhere else.
All of our students are creative. We are a college of the creatives. We just create different things in the art area and in technology.
So students do scored VCE, but we also offer vocational pathways.
Vocational education is absolutely so exciting. We're giving kids experience using the full soundstage. We're moving motorised trusses. We've got a PA system that's absolutely state-of-the-art.
The facilities here are just immaculate.
We're constantly upgrading our equipment so that we can reflect the true standard of industry.
The most important part of having industry standard gear is that they have the confidence to use it when they're in the industry.
Because you're going to a school that's so different to the rest and prides themselves on being very industry based, I think it's really important to have practising industry professionals.
The key to it all is that we aim to engage. So what we do in the classroom is designed to really get them involved, to get them to be active in their learning and to really see that they can achieve. I mean, we build confidence.
Teachers definitely have high expectations of you, not unrealistic, but they certainly like to, make sure that you're setting yourself up for your future.
They are your backbone. They believe in you, and whatever aspirations you have, they're going to make sure you get there.
They know that this is not just a thing you want to do, it's a passion.
I feel really lucky that I get to work with students who love the subjects as much as we do, and I think that's what's so special about it. Yeah, they're just the best.
We value the whole person here, whether they're coming for a VCE program or for an applied program. What we look at is what can they do, not what they can't do, and how can we build their skills.
I'm enjoying learning about new things, and I'm excited to be able to kind of step outside of my comfort zone, to be able to challenge myself.
NCAT is known for its equality and giving everybody a fair chance at succeeding at what their love is. If you give people the chance to pursue a passion, they're going to naturally succeed in it.
We're actually described as an influence school, which is the very top category of schools that are high performing and that are leaders for others.
I feel like I've really realised my passions here a lot more than my previous school. It's brought me out of my shell as well.
I've always been into performing, and the second I found out about this school, I applied because I actually get to excel in what I want to do, and I'll be around people who are like me and want to do the same thing.
Encad is a nationally registered training organisation, just like any university or TAFE, and so all of our courses are nationally accredited.
As part of VCE programs and applied learning, they can do VET units.
It means that by the time you've gotten your Year 12 certificate, you've already kind of got a step in the industry and something you can put on your resume.
I'm studying to be an electrician, and then on Wednesdays I'm doing an art course. It's both things that I'm really passionate about.
That's our objective, that young people enjoy their education and then they enjoy their occupation afterwards, because whatever they enjoy, whatever they love, they're going to be successful at.
I literally get excited to wake up in the morning and come to school because it's just such a great environment.
We like the fact that people are original. It doesn't matter here if you come in with blue hair, so long as you perform and you actually contribute and you actually grow and you thrive.
Self-expression is definitely something valued at the school by teachers and students.
In fact, originality is one of our core values. So people here can be original, can be different, and that is valued.
How I've grown since I've been here, I'm more confident, I'm more career focused and generally happier because I actually see myself going somewhere.
Ncat is unique. We specialise in the arts and technologies, and we run programs not offered anywhere else, as well as the breadth of subjects, so that we can provide real pathways for our young people. We have strong relationships with universities, with TAFE, and with industry. We have a culture of inclusion, of support, of work into students' strength, as you saw in the videos, and helping them work out what the best pathway is for them. And as you can see from the videos, I mean, we love our young people, but they love being here and being with like-minded young people. It's a place where individuality is encouraged and celebrated, and our students thrive. Encad is a government senior secondary college. So we run programs from year 10 right through to year 12, and then we also run tertiary programs. From year 10, students go on to do an either VCE or Vcal, and they can include programs from either side, as well as vet specialisations. We run 8 different kinds of Vcal programs, including integrated and themed Vcals. And beyond that, we also run tertiary programs, which include certificate full programs as well as diploma programs. We have 460 of our own students, and we're also a regional provider of vet programs for 550 students coming from 72 state and private schools who do one of our vet programs for half a day a week on a Wednesday or a Thursday. I know there's a small number of people with us tonight who are interested in attending as external vet students. This presentation is targeted at students wanting to come on a full-time basis. However, I would encourage you to stay and get an overview of the environment and what this unique college has to offer. Alternatively, you can go onto our website and check out the courses you're interested in, and your home school will also have copies of the vet booklet, which describes our program, and we'll be sending you email links at the end of this session to videos for our various specialist areas. As well, there will be Q&A links at the end to specialist areas so they can answer your questions. So in terms of pathways, students come in at year 10, or often they also come in at year 11 or 12. But from year 10, students go into either a scored VCE. We don't offer a non-scored VCE. So we offer a scored VCE, and that's for students who want to sit exams, who want to do go straight to university entrance, or at the end of that, they can go through our tertiary programs and then go on to tertiary programs. If you're in year 10 and you want to do a more applied pathway, you can go into our year 11 and 12 vocational pathways and then go on to apprenticeships or TAFE for our certificate full programs or employment. At year 10, students can choose to go into an art stream or a technology stream. Each stream gives students the opportunity to experience and develop in a range of arts and technology areas alongside core subjects such as English, humanities, maths, and science. And it provides a solid foundation for a scored VCE or a vocational pathway or Vcal program. As well, in the middle there, you see that students, all year 10 students, study a year 11 vocational education and training program or VET certificate in either the arts, the trades, technologies, or sport and recreation. This allows students to further develop their special interest or to choose a subject from another area and complete a year 11 subject in year 10. So if it's your passion, you can do visual design at year 10, but also art and media and photography, and on a Wednesday, 4 hours of the certificate 2 in visual arts, or if animation or making film is your area, then the certificate 3 in screen and media. Students wanting to pursue a trades or technology stream get the opportunity to learn and try various areas: automotive, electrotechnology, engineering and woodwork. And on Wednesday, they can start on their areas of interest. So if you want to work with cars, you can start on the certificate 2 in auto, or you can do carpentry with the certificate 2 in building and construction, or plumbing or electro. We run very strong VCE programs, as I mentioned in the video, where students can take subjects from across all areas of the arts and the technologies. They can take traditional VCE subjects, and they can do a range of specialisations and VCE VET programs that, again, aren't offered in most schools. For example, if your passion is music, we offer not only VC Music and Music Investigations, but also the VC Vet Certificate 2 in Music, in Performance and Sound Production, both of which are scored out of 50. Similar in individual arts and design, or in media, multimedia and video and filmmaking, we run a range of VCE and VCE Vet programs. We're proud of our VCE results. We've had students score perfect 50s in music and perform in VCE Seasons of Excellence. In fact, 2 of our music students last year were not only chosen to perform in top acts, but also asked by the VCAA to perform at the opening of Top Design at the Melbourne Museum, at which we also had students' animation work for interactive digital media on display. In dance, 5 of our Year 12 VCE dance students got an A+ in their performance exam and were asked to audition for top acts, with Lachlan Draper being chosen. For those interested in the technologies, we run a range of VC and VC Vet scored programs for those wanting to go directly to university. The Certificate 2 in Integrated Technologies, for example, focuses on computer networking, sustainable energy systems, and multiple technologies, including CAD, coding, automation, and robotics. And it leads to further studies and careers in robotics, mechatronics, telecommunications, engineering, electrotechnology, computer engineering, and advanced manufacturing. And students have won Vice Chancellor scholarships after doing a course such as that one. We also run a range of specialist and unique vocational programs for students who don't want to go the VCE exam way. And these are in the arts or the technologies, in sport and recreation, as well as a more general one. So students who might want to pursue a pathway such as makeup or animal studies or childcare or filmmaking or one of the other non-integrated areas, they can choose a general VCal. From 2023, currently this is called a VCal. From 2023, with the changes coming, this will form part of the VCE Vocational Specialisation Certificate. So these vocational pathways are more hands-on. Students learn not only the necessary theory, but also the important practical skills that they need for industry, and they use industry-level equipment. They complete their Year 11 and 12 certificate, and they can go on to apprenticeships, TAFE, or employment, or one of our Certificate 4 programs. So these are our specialist our Vcal programs. We have the Vcal Art Immersion program. This is a brilliant program, and it's generally full by the beginning of November each year. It's for young people with a passion for art and design who are interested in a creative career and further study, but again, don't want to do the VCE. Students are in a studio environment 4 days per week. They explore materials, techniques, they do workshops with practicing artists, and they develop their skills and individual styles and learn enterprise and business skills. Most continue to our Certificate Portfolio Preparation program, which gives them guaranteed entry to Swinburne diploma courses in graphic design, visual arts, interior design, visual merchandising, and digital and interactive games. Vcal Performance is for those who have talent in music or dance, but again, don't want to sit exam. And this integrates VCE and Vet music and dance subjects with Vcal programs to further develop their talents. Now, you need to know that whether students are coming for Year 10, for VCE or Vcal, all music and dance students must audition for entry into these subjects and programs. A number of our Vcal music students go on to our Certificate 4 programs in music performance or sound production, and then go on to work in the industry or pursue tertiary studies, going on to diploma and bachelor courses. Dance students go on to further study at dance school or work in dance students or other settings as choreographers and performers. One of our students who did Year 11 and Vcal Performance some years ago, then did the Certificate 4 program in music, went on to complete a Bachelor of Music, and last year completed a Masters of Teaching. So doing Vcal or vocational pathway doesn't mean you don't go to a university. It just takes an extra step if that's what you want to do. Yeah, our Vcal pre-apprenticeship programs are incredibly popular. And in fact, we had to add on extra classes this year. We're really proud of our programs. Our Year 11 and 12 students have the opportunity to complete up to 4 certificates in addition to their Year 11s and 12s. Students spend up to 16 of their 24 sessions per week in their VET programs doing what they love and being hands-on. The literacy, numeracy, and other Vcal subjects are geared towards the skills they need for those areas. So numeracy for electrical focus on the numeracy they need to be electricians, and is different to that for those doing building and construction or plumbing or automotive. And because they do up to 4 programs over Year 11 and 12, they can see what they're really good at, what they really enjoy, and they also have options in terms of gaining apprenticeships. We have a great track record of getting students into apprenticeships. Each year, not only Year 12 pre-up Vcal students, but also quite a number of Year 11 students gain apprenticeships in their area of interest. And last year, despite COVID, we were really surprised to see that up to 20% of our Year 10 students actually got apprenticeships at the end of Year 10. It was an exceptional year. We have an excellent reputation in industry for the quality of our training, and many industry people contact us when they have apprenticeships vacancies. We also run a sports leadership program for young people who want to pursue pathways in the field of sports or coaching, fitness, outdoor education. They have 1 day a week where they're generally involved in a wide range of activities, from running coaching programs for primary students, going to gyms, rock climbing, swimming, surfing, bushwalking, and so on. Students have gone on to Certificate 4 courses in sport, fitness, and recreation. We've had very talented students in this program. Harrison McBead is playing college volleyball in the US. Another student is playing college baseball in the US. Zoe, one of our students who is now completing her outdoor education trainerships at Dinner Plains, and others have become personal trainers or work in gyms. Now, as I said at the beginning, we also run VET programs for external students. This is because of our specialist facilities and because we are one of the few places that offer this broad range of subjects. So we have up to 500 VET external students who come on a Wednesday morning or a Wednesday afternoon or a Thursday afternoon to do their chosen program. They don't access all of our programs, and they do half a day a week, whereas in our specialist programs, you can do the entire certificate in 1 year. And it gives students more hands-on time in the areas that they have a passion for. The VET programs at Encad are of such high quality that we've been featured in videos produced by the federal government, as well as the current Department of Education's Get Vet website, promoting vetting in programs in schools. And as well as our 10 to 12 programs, we run our tertiary programs. And as you can see, the list is up there. We also offer the Diploma of Visual Arts, but that one is for adults, which is why it's not up there. Universities love our Certificate for students because when they get there, they know exactly which the course is right for them. They don't drop out. They're the ones that win the awards. RMIT will take our top Cert 4 designs into their second year of their degree course. And we've had Monash University offer $3,000 scholarship to entice our students to go there. Former graduates, and there are over 1,400 of them, work in the creative industries here and overseas. For example, Alan Lamb, a digital background artist, has designed and created backgrounds for more than 20 feature films, including Lord of the Rings, Captain Marvel, The Wolverine, and also for Game of Thrones. Evelyn Chan is a fashion designer. She works in Paris for Leo and Lynn. Narissa Box, and this is, I mentioned this one because it's unusual. She did an associate diploma in theatre crafts, and then after finishing with us, and is now a lead animatronic puppet fabricator, a creature technology company in Melbourne, which makes large puppets for films such as King Kong, Charlotte's Web, Superman Returns, Jurassic Park, Walking with Dinosaurs. And the same goes for music or any of the other areas. We're also the only place in Australia that runs qualifications in musical instrument making and repair. So students can do the Certificate 3 in Year 11 and 12 and then go on to the Certificate 4 program after Year 12. And from there, they go straight into employment with Maton Guitars or Cole Clark, or as many have, they've set up their own successful businesses. Back to me. In summary, whether a student wants to go to tertiary study or an apprenticeship or into employment, our strong ties with both tertiary institutions and industry mean we can get them help there. We can get them there. The college has lots of new students every year at every year level. We're very welcoming and we work on our students' strengths. We want our young people to become strong-minded, independent, confident individuals, and we value student voice and leadership and agency in their learning. This is an adult environment. We expect our young people to behave responsibly. There is so much equipment everywhere. Many rooms in the art and music area are open. The Trade Training Centre has a range of equipment which can be dangerous if mishandled. So we expect our young people to be respectful and look after the place and be safety conscious. And our students are supported by coordinators and form teachers. We also have youth support worker, mental health practitioner, and of course, a careers counsellor. In terms of facilities, our college is second to none. We have 17 million in technologies for cities, which are large trade training centre. We've just spent 12 million on performing arts facilities and have great dance studios, 10 music practice rooms, recital rooms, recording studios, performing arts centre, music technology rooms, dedicated art studios, a $500,000 photography centre with black and white and colour enlargers and film processing centre, and photographic studios. And if you want to see more of our facilities, you can by watching some of our specialist videos, which we'll be sending you by email. But we're also hoping, COVID willing, if restrictions lift, to run tours of our facilities on a Wednesday at 11 a.m. towards the end of term. And we're also hoping, COVID willing, to run tours on the 12th of October at 7 p.m. You'll need to book with our office for any of these. If you want to enroll at Ncad, you need to apply online and send us last year's report and your first semester report from this year. And if you're interested in music or dance, once we get your application and we get your reports, we'll then look at organising an audition. We've already started interviewing and places do fill up fast. So don't leave it until term 4. It will be too late. We hate it when we have to say to people we're full. So please get in early. I'm now going to open it up to a Q&A session and we'll be putting the links to the specialist areas. So if you want to move to speak to anyone in dance or music or visual arts area at the end of this, you can click on those links and they'll take you to a different staff member talking about those areas and answering your questions. If you're interested in trades and technologies, then stay online after the Q&A and we'll be answering your specific questions if they haven't already been answered. Okay, so questions, please.
So a question for Rafaela, do students need to bring their own laptop?
Students can bring their laptop, they don't have to. We have computers in every room. In some areas, we have to put on specialist software. However, students can have that option if they wish.
This next question was touched on by Megan, but I'll pose it to Rafaela. Are the Certificate 4 courses open to adults as well?
Yes, they are. We do, yes, they are.
Excellent. Question from Clive here. Is the entry process for current external students any different to other applications?
If you're a current external student and you're choosing to come here to do VET, then you do it through your school. You don't do it directly with us. The only people who do it directly with us are those wanting to come here on a full-time basis.
Question from Lisa. Do students with learning disabilities receive modifications and/or accommodations?
We would need to sit down and make sure that the courses that we offer are suited. There can be some modification. It depends really on the program and the nature of the disability.
Question from Trish. What is the application process for a visual arts stream? E.g., do you have to share a folio of work?
Yes, if you're coming to do visual arts or design, we'd love to see, we want to see. So if you're doing the art immersion program, we need to see, and we would love to see your artwork or your photography work. It can be either. And some students come here because they want to do filmmaking. Again, we'd love to see what they have done.
Next question from Sienna. When is the school starting interviews for the art stream?
We've already started.
Excellent. Next question from Mena. Do students start VET courses in year 10?
Yes, all of our VET students, all of our year 10 students, every single one of them does a VET program.
Question from Susie. Can Vcal students do some VCE subjects?
Yes, they can. They have a limited range, but they can do, we've actually timetabled the Vcal core subjects so that they can choose some VCE subjects.
Is there a link to chat to anyone about sport?
Well, actually, Megan might be online. I don't think we have, but I can answer some questions about that, or Megan could answer some questions about that. What is the question that you would like to ask around sports leadership or sport and recreation?
All right, we'll wait for that one in the chat. Question from Melinda. If the student is already doing an external VET course at Ncat, can they move over to Year 11 VCE in 2022 at Ncat and continue their VET course on a Wednesday?
Yes, we often have a number of VET students who come here for 1 year as an external VET students and then come here full time the year after.
Next question, where can we find the fee structure?
The fee structure, if you go to our website, www.ncat.vic.edu.au, and you go into the About section. I think there's one where there's, I can't remember what it's called exactly. I think it's policies and I'd have to get onto the website. But on our website, in the About section, where we have all of our policies, there's also one there that goes into all the material charges for years 10 to 12 programs.
Just going back to Wyatt's question, has filed an application in the last few months. So just wondering when he may find out about an interview, should he ring the head office?
Okay, no, the enrolment officer is currently making appointments. As we have been overwhelmed, there's quite a lot to go through. So we've approved quite a number, and she's just going through. Xiomara is the one who goes through this, and she'll be going through, excuse me, she'll be going through and making appointments. So over the next week, any of those that have come through so far will have all, most of them will get called up. So in the next couple of weeks, and then you'll be booked with an interview, or if you didn't get in, then we'll let you know.
Clive would like to know, is there an entry process for current external students Wednesday afternoons? Is it any different to other applications?
If you're just applying to come on a Wednesday afternoon and you're coming from your school, or if you're a VET student you're from another school and you did a VET program unit 1 and 2 this year and you want to do it 3, 4 next year, then you go through your school. So anyone who's wanting just to do a VET only program or is currently doing it, you go through your school. You go through your VET coordinator, not through us. You come to us through our application process, which again is on our website. So it's and we'll put it up again later, but it's basically our website /applications. Those applications are purely for those who want to come here from year 10 to tertiary. You can apply if you're an older student to come in and do the full-time programs.
And next question from Michaela. Do students need to know specifically what pathway they need to enroll in before joining Ncat at year 11?
No, you can. I mean, it's hard sometimes to know exactly what you want to do, or there are students who say, well, I want to do this and this and this. So one of the things we do is work through with you so that by the time you leave here, you have a number of pathways, because sometimes it is hard for people to make a choice. But what's critical when we do that counselling with you is to make sure that you have options. So you're not narrowed down, you actually have a number of different options to go through.
A question from Alessia. Do external VET students need to audition for VET music?
Yes, you will, and you'll be informed about that.
Question from Bridget, can you apply for year 10 and what are the costs for automotive studies?
Okay, you can apply for year 10, of course. I think the total, including any vet, is around $950, I believe. I can't remember, but it's around that. And that's for the entire year, including every subject, including a vet program, whichever one you choose.
Bridget also asked, when are the applications due?
I would say to you, get your applications in as soon as possible, because then we contact you and we ask you to send us your reports. Until we get your reports from last year and this year's first semester report, we don't proceed. Once we've got those, then they'll be looked at, and then if approved, we'll move on to enrolment, and then we'll contact you and we'll make an appointment.
And next question, what are the prerequisites for Certificate 4s?
Certificate 4s, generally a year 12, but generally a year 12. But again, for music, you'd have to audition. For sound production, we'd want to see what you've been doing in the music area. For visual arts or design, it's an interview and a folio. For photography as well. For musical instrument making and repair, it isn't so much, there isn't a prerequisite as such. Although if you're a bit musical, it helps because you will be tuning guitars, you know, so musical instruments. So it just helps to have some music background, but it's not required. You don't have to have any pre-existing knowledge. We actually teach you from the ground up.
Right, next question from Logan. How many weeks does the Pre-Apprenticeship Certificate 2 in Electrotechnology take?
If you're doing it full time at our school, it actually, you will do that with either your year 11 or year 12, and you'll do it in 1 year.
It's 32 weeks, I think.
If you're doing it as a vet student, it'll take you 2 years.
What is your year 10 intake in terms of places?
Okay, we're limited in terms of how many we can take. This year we took 2 year 10s in the arts. Because we get so big, we're actually like an upside down pyramid. We start small at year 10 and then we just explode. So this year we took two classes at year 10 in arts and 1 in technology. We are considering to go to 3 arts and 2 technologies next year. But again, we want to make sure that the candidates that we take are right for this college.
This question is from Robin and David, wondering about integrated technologies. Our daughter's school has Wednesday afternoons available for Vce Subjects, but you have year 12 on Thursdays. How would it work if she was required to do an assessment on a Thursday and would therefore be unable to attend occasionally? What possibility might there be to accommodate that?
We have never had this problem. All of our schools know that for the integrated technologies, engineering subjects that they run on a Thursday afternoon, because they run from 1:30 to 5:30, it actually minimises the time they're out from other schools. And in the 10 years we've been running them, we've never had an issue with that. So there is no other option. The certificate to an integrated unit 3 and 4 are run on a Thursday afternoon.
Next question from Tim. What are the audition requirements for music in year 10?
Generally, we ask you to pick two contrasting pieces. You choose, and then you come here, and one of our music teachers or the head of music will listen to you play, get to know you a bit, do an interview, put you at ease, because we really want you to actually perform at your best. So we don't want you to be nervous, and you choose the things that you play or sing. Some students are singers, so again, they choose the song. Now, hopefully you'll be able to come here and do it so you can see our facilities as well. But we've also done this via Zoom. It's a bit harder if you're a singer doing it by Zoom, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll be back.
Next question from Sam. For external vet students in art, do they also need to have a portfolio as part of the application process?
No, only our full-time Vcal Art Immersion programs students or our Certificate 4 students need to do that. They don't, but hopefully they have an interest in the art because it is very intensive.
Next question from Olivia. You mentioned a pathway to graphic design. How might that work for me? I'm coming as an external student for vets in year 10.
At year 10, well, that wouldn't work. I mean, you would have to go through your own school, and because you're at another school, you're not doing our Vcal Art Immersion program. You won't be doing the other thing to consider, I guess, when you finish year 12 is to come to us to do our certificate for programming design. That would probably be the best way. So you finish, if you're staying at your school, you finish your year 12 and then you apply to us for our certificate for in design or visual arts.
Next question is from Philippa regarding sports. Is there an opportunity to do work in your chosen sport, or does it all have to be AFL?
Oh, no. And we've changed. It's no longer an AFL sports program. If you're doing sport and the certificate 3 in sport and recreation, then it's a number of different sports and it depends on your interest. And Megan, who I think is online, may be able to want to answer that in the chat. But if you're doing the Vcal sports leadership program, then it's a variety of sports.
Philippa also asks, how many people are in the class? Are there any special conditions to apply?
Okay, classes sizes depend. Usually year 10, we try and keep them around no more than 23. We've had them at 24, but we try and keep them no bigger than that. But then other classes, it depends. In the technology area, we really can't have class sizes of over 20, and often they're around 18 because of the health and safety issues.
Now, Lucas asks, how far in advance can you apply at Ncat?
We've had students apply for the following year because they're currently in year 8 this year, and I think they've the year after. We've had people apply 2 years in advance, but we don't actually interview until the year before.
Melinda asks, is Ncat zoned for VCE?
No, it's not. We actually take students from across Melbourne. And we even have students, I couldn't do this, but we have a young woman coming all the way from Point Cook, 2 hours each way, and she's doing VCE purely because of the kinds of subjects you can do here that you can't do anywhere else.
Question from Stevie. I'm in year 11 doing a creative industries vet and studying art subjects at my current school. My question is, how would I be able to complete the 2-year art immersion course and my 2-year screen and digital media course at Ncat when I'll be in year 12 next year? How could I do a year 13?
Okay, if you can come in, the art immersion course is not a 2-year course. There's one course at year 11 where you do the complete certificate 2 in visual arts, and one course at year 12, which is the certificate 3 in visual arts. So you can do them separately. You can come in at year 12 and just do the 1 year, year 12 program. And with that, you can do other vets like the multimedia one, certificate 3 in screen and media, and so on. And then after that, you can do the certificate 4, or you can come in after having done year 12 into our certificate 4.
Next question from Angela. My son is currently completing a year 10 vet subject at Ncat. He is unsure as to whether he should continue with VCE at his current school or transfer to complete Vcal at Ncat. Is there someone we can contact to discuss his options?
Sure. Put in an application and say that you want to discuss those options, and we will certainly sit down with you and go through what the options are. Often, if students, unless they're really wanting to do exams and read lots of text and be really happy with that, we've found that our Vcal Pathways get students into TAFE, get students into jobs, get students into where they want to go. It's not like in the past where you do a scored VCE or you don't have any options. There are lots of options. And we've even found that TAFEs prefer students who do a Vcal program because they've chosen that course because they want a specific pathway over doing an unscored VCE. So the Vcal has a credibility and there are lots of pathways. And students tend to do courses, go back. We've had students who've done apprenticeships and then later on gone on to do a diploma after finishing their apprenticeship and doing a couple of years of industry. So there isn't that cutoff that you can't go on to TAFE or university later in your life.
Next question from Brad. For students wishing to enroll for year 2022, year 11 subjects, where would they be able to access the interviews?
Access the interviews? You'd have to apply. And then we would, so apply, and then we would sit down and once we get your reports, we would organise an interview and go through what your pathway interests are and what would make the best VCE program for you.
The next question from Jamie, can you join Ncat Vcal as a year 12?
Yes, you can. We have, as I said, we have quite an inverted pyramid. So we take about 60 to 70 students at year 10. We then take nearly 200 almost at year 12, at year 11, and then almost another 200 beyond that. So, so we tend to really explode. So, the 65 or 70 at year 10 become double that. No, triple that the year after. So 2/3 of our students are new each year. And I think one of the great joys of being a principal at the school is the way we're able to engage them. So our student opinion surveys say how connected the students are to the school. And that's by April, when most of them, can you imagine, 2/3 of them are new. And often the student opinion survey is done quite early in the year, and they say they're connected to the school, they love the school. So I think we do a great job of settling young people in, whether they're coming at year 10, whether they're coming at year 11, or whether they're coming at year 12 or post-secondary.
Susie's question was, can you do VCE media and VET multimedia, or do they overlap too much?
No, you can do VCE media, you can also do VCE screen and media, and you can actually do 2 different kinds of VCE screen and media, because there are 2 different streams. So you can do VCE screen and media interactive digital media, which is a scored subject and focuses on animation and web design and so on. Or you can do the other stream, which is more around making videos and films, which gives you a 10% bonus. You can do both. You can do all 3.
A question from Chloe was, we've just answered it, but I'll just ask it again and answer it for you. How many year 10s do you take? It's between 55 and 60.
No, we take around 65 to 70.
Perfect. Thank you, Rafaela. Next question from Brad. Looking on the Ancat website in the About section, unable to find any link to the fee structure.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll get Alana in the office to actually email, when she sends out the videos, email the link for you, because it does have, it's called parental payments, and it's under the policies page. I don't know if any of you here with me can actually bring up our website, and then we can show that where it is. But we'll send you the link. We'll send you the link to where it is. Okay. So we won't worry about it for now. We'll send you the link.
Next question from Lisa. Can you do a tertiary course at Ncat to follow on from a VCE non-scored at another school?
Yes, you can.
What are the fees for year 10?
Year 10s are around $950 to $980. I think year 11 and 12 can run from $1,300 to about $1,700, depends on what course you're taking, what sort of specializations you're doing. And then I think post-secondary, they're on our website, but at this stage, it's around that.
Next question is, what are the prerequisites for engineering for a year 11 as a VET student in school?
There are no prerequisites, so you can come and do engineering.
Next question from Callie. My son is wanting to be an actor, but is interested in the film industry as a whole. Would Ncat be a good fit for him?
Yes, they can do theatre studies. In fact, we moved from drama to theatre studies, and that they can start that from year 10, as well as the Certificate 3 in Screen and Media, as well as the other one, which also does podcasting. So we went into theatre studies because that means the students can do producing and set design and clothing design and all of the different range of skills they can learn about and try out the different kind of range of skills that there are in the industry, whereas drama didn't quite do that.
Next question from Bridget. Are uniforms supplied and do we have to pay extra for books?
Okay, there is no uniform for those students doing arts programs. There is a uniform for those doing a technology program, and that's purely around the health and safety issues. You have to pay for those uniforms. The books, there are books just like every other school, not so many for those doing Vcal. And again, you will pay for them. We don't supply it. You get it from the book supplier. Have I answered that question? Was there any other aspect?
No, that's all.
Sorry? The books then change next year.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, the books. If you're VET external, then you pay through your school. Those with us, you get given a book list and you go and get your books.
So next question from Sienna. What is the daily timetable for a full-time student?
Okay, for full-time students, we have 6 by 50-minute periods. So you start at 9, you have a double session, that's 100 minutes. You then have a break around, I think it's around 10:40. You then start again at 11, you finish around 12:40, you have break for lunch. So it's a double recess, a double lunch, a double you go home. So you finish at 3:15, except on a Wednesday, if you're in year 11 or 12, where you may be doing 2 vet programs, you might have one in the morning, one in the afternoon, might go, or you're doing it during the week, but you want to do a specialist one. Sometimes you might be here till 5 or 5:30, but generally it's from 9 till 3:15.
Next question from Mary. My son is currently doing Vce Certificate 2 Carpentry on Wednesday. Can he do a school-based apprenticeship from next year, or what is the process of doing an apprenticeship from year 11?
Yes, students can do school-based apprenticeships. If they do that, then they no longer continue with the Certificate 2 in building and construction. They would then do the Certificate 3 with whoever the provider is. So there are schools-based apprenticeship. We have the Head Start school-based apprenticeship here as well. We have a coordinator working with us if that's what students want to do as part of their full-time programs, or if you're doing it as an SBAT, then again, you would no longer be doing your vet program. You would be doing a Certificate 3 elsewhere, which is an apprenticeship.
Next question from Robin and David. What pathways are possible for engineering through Ncad?
Okay. Oh, I love this question because, you know, there are so many pathways. If you wanted to go to university, that's one. However, can I encourage young people to pick up engineering? Because there's such a skill shortage in that area. And we run the Certificate 2 in Engineering where they focus on fabrication. So you learn how to make things. You learn to work with lathes. You learn to work with 3D printers. And this is where the jobs are. You know, when Amazon came to Australia, they needed 200 engineers to fix their machines. So you learn how to fix machines. And we've had students that have done the apprenticeship, gone on to work, and they're earning 2 years out, they're earning $95,000 a year. One young man who's actually employed in Preston in an engineering company in Preston's already earning $126,000. It's one where there's such an incredible skill shortage. We've had places like Sutton Tools, an engineering company in Melbourne's north. They've actually paid for young people to continue their training, to continue to do a diploma and degree while still doing their apprenticeship. But my goodness, there are so many job opportunities available, and there's enormous skill shortage, and they're very well paid, incredibly well paid.
So the next question is, we heard your school participate Head Start program. Is there any student doing currently? If so, how are they going? Is there any success story?
I guess one of the things we've learned is that it's really important, particularly for you. I think it's been successful for some year 11s and 12s. And in fact, some of them have actually moved on to an apprenticeship with that area. I think sometimes some of the year 10s struggle a bit and really need more support in terms of trying out a variety of vet before they go into that. But I guess we're just learning and working with the students to see how they go with it.
Bridget says, my current high school does not provide any subjects for my chosen career, which is automotive, in year 10. Is this what you would be offering in as a year 10 subject? And what is the compulsory subjects that I would do
Okay, so if you were coming into year 10 and you would go into the year 10 technology streams where you would do some automotive, and you could also start your Certificate 2 in automotive. And again, there were so many thousands of apprenticeships that went begging last year in the area of automotive.
Can we post the links again?
Are there any other questions? We will be posting the links. So if you want to move off to any of the specialist areas, you're welcome to do that. And the rest of you can stay here and I can keep on answering questions.
Another question from Driscoll. How does Ancad support students with special needs? Do you accept students with extra needs?
We have students with all sorts of different needs. Again, we would have to have a conversation to see whether the programs that we run would suit that young person.
Question from James. As a Vce such as music performance or sound production, do you need an audition?
Yes. For performance, you do. For sound production, you don't, if you're a Vce student. But anyone who does music here or who does dance here has to sit an audition, regardless of whether they're full-time or they're coming to us from other schools. And I guess that's because of the standard at which we're running it, because it is for people who are really serious about dance and serious about music and want to go on to either further study or be in the industry.
I think it's all technology. That's all the questions.
Okay, that's all the questions. I'm happy to take questions around technology as well.
Question from Robin and David: who would I contact about those alternate engineering pathway options?
The question that we would come back at you is, are you coming as an internal or external student? I guess it depends on what you need to know. If you're working with us, our engineering teacher will be informing you about those pathways as part of the program.
Question from Chloe: what is the cost of an external vet course for makeup?
We do not charge students, we charge schools. So you will need to negotiate that with your schools. We charge schools a certain amount and then they decide what they charge you.
Question from Clive: is it possible to study sound production and automotive as a full-time year 11 student?
Yes, that's the beauty of it here, that you can do both. And in fact, we've had students study up to 3 different vets in 1 year from year 11 and 12 and finish with all 3.
Question from Jacob: with automotive, how many days on site and how many days do you work?
Okay. If you're doing automotive here, then if you're doing our full-time program, you cover 10 sessions during the week. If you're doing it, if you're an external student, it's half a day a week, and then the rest of the time, we would actually get you to do another vet certificate so that you actually have 2 options, and your literacy and numeracy, personal development skills and work-related skills, if you were doing the Vcal program. Okay, if there are a number of people still on who want to find out a bit more about our technology areas, we'll actually play you the video from that area. So it gives you a really good overview of the facilities and the programs. So we'll do that now.
We're a senior secondary college, so we undertake certificates in a range of different areas, commonly referred to as the trades.
They offer a lot of subjects. It's not just about like going into the trades. For example, with integrated technologies, one of the common things to do afterwards is computer science, which is also a maths-heavy field. So it's not just about going into trades, there's a lot of tie-ins with VCE as well.
I've always been interested in trades because my dad's a plumber, so I'm a bit influenced by him.
Well, not many females really do it, and I loved building things ever since I was younger.
My grandpa was a carpenter for a long time. He used to take me out into the shed and go, come have a look at this thing I made. From then on, I kind of wanted to do something like that.
So I want to do architecture when I'm older, and engineering was like a really similar course. At the end of the 2-year course, we get this little certificate saying that we've completed our engineering studies, and it's just something else to add to my portfolio for uni or into the workforce.
We have furniture making, engineering, plumbing, building and construction, electrotechnology, automotive and integrated technologies.
I came to Ncat specifically because they offered integrated technology, so we work on, normally for many weeks at a time, a single project. One of the examples is our solar board. We have to make a board that can charge a battery from a solar panel, and then we do theory on that, such as electricity and renewable energy, to back up those practical applications.
With instrument making, no one else in the Southern Hemisphere does this subject. It's tricky, but it's good fun.
What we do here is establish a real-world notion. So all of our facilities are at industry standard.
If you're going to learn on something, you should learn on the standard of that thing. You might as well learn on a CNC that a factory would actually use.
A student can come here for 3 years, years 10, 11 and 12. They can do between 4 and 5 different certificates. so that by the end of it, they will definitely know what they want to do.
I started in the arts and I stumbled across plumbing, and I think it's stuck. We've learnt how to do gutters, now starting to do the framework of the hot water systems.
I have a real passion for cars. We learn basic mechanics, the brakes, head gaskets, engines. We learn how to repair all cars.
I'm studying to be an electrician. A lot of people would think, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that. But then when I show them that I can do it, they second guess themselves.
Economically, we need young people going into these areas of technology. The more employable young people are when they finish school, the better it is for the broader community.
Before we do any sort of work, we always just study the type of tool that we're using, risks that it could have.
OH&S is central to everything that is done across these industry sectors. All work practices revolve around the notion of occupational health and safety.
For example, you have to get a white card to be able to use all the equipments and get into a workforce.
So that did take a bit, but it was worth it because now I can do an apprenticeship soon.
We do have work experience coming up mid-year that I'm going to a local workshop to spend 2 weeks there. I'll basically be an apprentice for 2 weeks.
During our first year, we do a lot of networking, and we actually get part of the CCNA Cisco certificate, which can be a good starting point to get a job directly after school.
Ncat has a direct link to the 2 largest guitar making factories in Australia, that being Mayton and Cole Clark. So to say that the industry is involved here would be a bit of an understatement.
Fun fact, our teacher Frank used to help build planes and design planes for Boeing, and when we found out, we were like, what are you doing here? He was like, oh, I come here for you guys, just for you guys.
I know the staff are excited by what they're doing because they love what they're doing. Young people enjoy their education here, and then the feedback from parents is so often, and they get quite emotional about it, and so do I and we, that for the first time in their children's lives, they're seeing them enjoying themselves when they're at school.
I was considering it for a year and a half, and now I don't know what took me so long. Don't look back and just do it. Honestly, it's changed my life.
So there you go. Does anyone have any questions?
How many Year 10 applications have you received so far?
How many? I don't have that number in front of me, right? But as I said, in technology, we're considering going to a second class, and and we may actually also go to a third class in the arts.
Question from Joe here. Is it possible to study more than one technology for VCal, for example, electrotechnology and building and construction?
Yes, you can. We often pair electro with engineering, but then on a Wednesday you can pick up carpentry, you can building and constructions, you can pick up instrument making. If you're a musician, you can pick up music. So you can pair it with others.
Question from Susie. Can a general or arts immersion VCal student do VCE and Vce Subjects? Is there a limit to how many?
For the Vcal Art Immersion program, there is a limit because the course is quite intense. So you usually don't have more than about 2 VCE subjects. The Vets are not limited because on a Wednesday you get the day available free, so you can choose up to 2 different Vets.
Question from Bridget. What are the hours for automotive studies full time?
9 till 3:15, 4 days a week. And then the 5th day is there, so you can work in industry. You can do 1 day a week in industry if you want to arrange that, but it's 4 days a week.
Next question. How many technology subjects can you choose?
Well, I guess it depends on which course you're doing. If you're, whether you're doing VCE or VCal, as I said, you could take at least 3 in 1 year. You may even be able to take 4, but it depends. I guess it depends on what programs you want to do. Don't forget that if you're here over year 10, 11 and 12, you can take many more. If you're here at year 11 and 12, then you can take, again, up to 4, possibly 5. But if you're coming in at year 12, then you're really severely limited. You'll probably finish 2 at max. The others, you wouldn't be able to get through the full certificate. You'd only get a statement of attainment and do a unit 1 and 2.
Question from Joe. Is full-time 4 days a week, regardless of the course?
No, not necessarily. VCE students may end up being here over 5 days. Vcal students tend to have 4 days, but VCE can be over 5. And certainly if you're doing a vet, many students in the Vcal programs are here 5 days a week because they're doing other vets. And if you're year 10, it's 5 days a week, 9 till 3:15.
Jacob's asking if the recording of this meeting will be openly available. Only wants to know is
yes.
Unfortunately missed most of it.
Yep, no, we'll be making this available on our website fairly soon. It's been recorded.
Do we have any other questions at this point?
No? Okay, well, if there are no more questions, thank you for being with us tonight. I hope that you've really had the opportunity to get an insight into Ncat. We will be sending you a link with all the videos so you can look at them at your leisure. And we'll also send you the link with the material charges for this year. They may change slightly for next year. If there are any more questions, you can always email us. And also get your applications in early. As I said, don't be disappointed. If you're coming here full time, then you need to get them in fairly soon. And once you put in an application, we'll acknowledge it. And then we'll be asking you to send us your reports from last year, email us your reports from last year, your first semester report, after which we'll contact you to let you know whether we're going through to interview or not. Okay, so a very good night to all of you. Thank you.